Hello, this is wmpyr. For today's lesson, we're going to be working on partner drills. The great thing about this is that you could still practice them solo by yourself, and that's what we're going to be doing in this video. But generally, they are done with partners, just to let you know. So, normally when we get to partner drills, and you could probably see on YouTube, most people want to go right into Heaven 6. They also want to do lock flow type stuff. All that other stuff, the advanced stuff, those are engaging and they're complex and they're fun and challenging, but that's all great and everything. But first, I think it's very, very important, especially if you're interested in real life application, that you really understand the basics here. And this is the basics to make this definitely a part of your arsenal and not just blow through it and go, let's just get to the Heaven 6 as fast as we can. It's not just about that, okay? There's some very valuable stuff here, so it's definitely worth spending a lot of time here. And you should and you will, all right? So the first one that generally is taught is, I don't think it even has a name, but I call it the chainsaw. So it's this motion right here where you're just throwing punches like this, boom, 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 back and forth, okay, like so. And like I said, this is done normally with a partner. So with a partner, I'm going to hit sticks, your sticks are going to tap right there and then tap right there. So you're just going 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And yeah, you can go pretty fast with that too. And that is part of the fun, to see how fast you can go and then slow it back down. So change the speed. All right. So the next one that is commonly taught is, that was the first one. The second one is the X strike, 1 and 2. 1 and 2. It's called the X strike because I am making an X. I am cutting in the air an X. And like I said, this is done with a partner where we tap our sticks here, we tap our sticks here, tap and tap. We go 1, 2, 1 and 2. And some people, they do it with a lot more power, which is a different kind of training, but they'll have a partner and they'll really go boom, boom, and they'll really land the strike hard. Boom, boom, okay? And that's fine too. Different benefits to different types of training. Okay, so we're going 1 and 2, 1 and 2. And let me go ahead and go to single stick right now. And if you notice, if you continue this motion, the X strike, and if you continue it, it turns into a figure 8, like so. Boom, 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 boom. 1, 2, 1, 2. So the X turns into a figure 8. This is a very important part of your training. If you're a beginner, this is crucial. To go from X to figure 8, to make that transformation, is super, super important. So boom, 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 boom. Combat-wise, this is also important because from right here, you have your slashes, boom, or if it's an impact weapon, you got your impact strikes. But then there are times where you're trying to just keep the distance from your opponent. You don't want them to enter in so easily. And the figure 8 motion is a flail. That is a nice flail, boom, 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 to make it more difficult for them to enter. And then, of course, if they still try to enter, that's when you could use the flail to come in with a stronger shot. This is your power shot. You don't want to do the power shot to try to keep them at bay, because then they're going to be looking for that timing, and they're going to see like, oh, right when he starts or right when he ends, that's when they're going to attack you. So, but with a flail, it's a continuous motion, so when they are coming in, they're inching in a little too close, you use the flail, make it more difficult, try to get that distance back, and you're also, you got to mix in a power shot, and now that'll make it further complex for them. You're using the flail and power shots, so they're like, I don't know when to come in. So you definitely want to make it more difficult for them, like so. So here with the flail, first is the X strike, right? We started with the X strike 1 and 2. This can be used as an impact weapon, but later on we want to get to blade. So I say start now. Start imagining this is a blade, okay? When you do, it's your second knuckles right here. That's where the blade edge is going to be. So you focus right here on the second knuckle. That's where the edge is. So that's my cut using the edge of the blade, like if this was a machete or a knife. And right there, boom, that's a cut. That's an actual cut. So when we start doing the flail motion, you notice that that goes out the window, and that's okay. So in this case now, but you just have to know what you're doing. So now right here, you see the stick coming down this way. That's actually, you see my second knuckles are right here. That means I'm hitting with a flat side. If this was a machete, I'm hitting with a flat side. Now there's a time and place for that. We want to control that. So for defense, it would be nice if someone's trying to do one of these, I could use the flat side of the machete, boom, to knock it out of the way. So we want that kind of control. So at the right time, I'm going to be using the blade edge to cut, and then at other times, I'll be using the flat side to parry stuff out because it's wider, so I'm going to have more surface area to defend. And that way I don't damage the blade edge either. So this figure eight motion, you're not going to be using the blade edge. Instead, you're going to be using the flat side and the flat side, and that's okay. So work on that, boom, 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 like this, and you'll notice that as you do this figure eight motion, that your hand's probably going to start to slide down the stick, and eventually it'll fly out your hand, which we definitely don't want that. So you need to monitor. You need to be aware of your grip. So as you're doing it, you start to notice, okay, my hand's sliding down, so you stop. You stop right when it gets to the very end. You stop, and then you just walk your hand back, and it's like you reload. So it's like reloading a gun. And then you go back to the figure eight to keep the distance. Then your hand starts sliding down. You stop, and then you walk your hand back, and you reload, okay? So that's it for now. Thank you for watching, and take care, folks.